Pedro Pascal has quickly become one of the most Googled celebrities of 2023, not to mention a meme sensation. Just stick this meme of him eating a sandwich over any video and watch it get thousands of views. Or this meme with him with Nick Cage. People love to watch it. It works with anything, trust me. He's the new it guy. But the thing is, he's been in the industry for years working in the shadows, not getting the recognition that he deserves. So how did he find fame? How did he keep motivated throughout 17 years of acting in massively popular shows and movies without ever getting noticed? Well, you're in the right place because that is exactly what I'm going to go through today. So Pedro Pascal was born Jose Pedro Balmaceda Pascal on the 2nd of April 1975 in Chile. He has a big family with over 34 cousins. Pascal's mother was the cousin of Andres Pascal Allende, the nephew of socialist Chilean President Salvador Allende. According to Pascal, his parents were devout followers in Allende and active in the resistance groups against Pinochet's dictatorship. Basically, around this time, Chile was divided. There was a big rift throughout the country, and Pascal's family was on the opposite side of that. Because of this, 9 months after his birth, his family sought refuge in the Venezuelan embassy and later received a political asylum in Denmark. However, ultimately, the family moved to the US and Pedro ended up growing up in California. In his early days, Pedro participated in competitive swimming. He was a swimmer. Who would have known, eh? Blows your mind. He was a competitive swimmer and he was really good at it as well. He reached state championships in Texas at just age 11. However, he stopped swimming competitively after discovering his interest in drama. Here's an interesting fact for you. In 1995, his father was indicated by a federal grand jury for his involvement in events at the fertility clinic which he ran with 2 other people. Following this, Pedro's father, mother, and 2 youngest siblings returned to Chile. Pedro maintains that his father did nothing wrong. Then in 1999, his mother unfortunately committed suicide. After her death, he started using his mother's surname professionally as a tribute to her. He also thought that Americans had trouble pronouncing his actual surname, which was Balmaceda. I don't know what he was on about. People are fine with pronouncing it. Then we get to his acting career. One of the earlier roles that Pedro did was a one-off episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer in which he played a young freshman who gets turned into a vampire. He was also in episodes of The Good Wife, Homeland, The Mentalist, Law & Order, Criminal Intent, and Law & Order Special Victim Unit, not to mention Graceland. He was also cast in the pilot for the 2011 Wonder Woman television adaptation. So he was working a lot. No one really knew who he was. He wasn't what you would consider, I guess, famous, but he was in these big shows. Law and Order, Graceland, The Good Wife, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But he was only ever in a few episodes here and there. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, 1 episode. Law and Order, a few episodes here and there. It wasn't like it was his own thing. It wasn't like it was a big thing. So he never got recognition for any of this. But he was also writing at this time. He was writing and he was directing. He made his directorial debut with a play called Underneath My Bed in 2008. In 2010, he wrote a play directed by Sarah Silverman called Flasser Loves Bone. In April 2015, Pedro co-starred with Heidi Klum in the music video for Sia's Fire Me Gasoline. So like I said, he's doing alright for himself. He's getting a lot of acting jobs. He's writing. He's directing. Yet, no fan base, really. No recognition from the consumers of all this content that he's in. That is until 2014. 2014 is when he played Oberyn Martell in the television show Game of Thrones, which absolutely great show, except for that ending though. Man, they really messed that up, didn't they, with the ending? But oh, I love that show. How good was that? Maybe I should do it before they were famous with some of the other Game of Thrones, or like a Where Are They Now? Yeah, that'd be cool. Hey, if you want to see any of those, comment below. Comment below, let me know who your favourite Game of Thrones character is, and I'll do a video on them. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button, and then when I do that video, you'll be able to see it. You'll be first in line. It'll pop up on your feed, because who knows, the amount of content you're ingesting here on YouTube, you'll forget about me in 5 minutes. But if you hit that subscribe button, I'll pop back up when I've got that video for you. Let's do that. That sounds like a plan, right? Good plan. You comment your favourite Game of Thrones character. I'm going to read that, make a video on them. You're going to hit that subscribe. I'm going to give you that video. Sounds perfect. Let's move on. 2014, he played Oberyn Martell in Game of Thrones. After that, he got some recognition. People started to see him, both fans, producers, casting agents, and then it was from there, it was up, up, up. That is what we consider his breakout role. Even though he's been in the industry for like 10 years prior to this, maybe longer, 14 years prior to this is his breakout role. After that, he scored the role of Javier Peña in all 3 seasons of Narcos on Netflix. Then in 2017, he starred as Agent Whisker in The Kingsman Golden Circle. 1 year later, 2018, he co-starred as Dave York, the primary antagonist in the thriller sequel film The Equalizer 2, which was a good film, not as good as The Equalizer 1. Since 2019, Pascal has portrayed the title role in The Mandalorian, which was a huge thing for him. You know, this is the first live-action Star Wars television series which debuted on Disney+. Massively popular. Can't say I watched it myself, but I know it's got a huge fan base there. I know a lot of people really like to watch that. In 2020, and now we're coming around. Remember when I said that he acted in the pilot episode of Wonder Woman back in 2011 when they had that television adaptation? Well, now, 2020, he played Maxwell Lord in the film Wonder Woman 1984, which was an absolute great film. Another great thing that he's been in. What a film that was, Wonder Woman. She is by far my favourite of any DC character. Absolutely love that film. And how good is Gal Gadot in that? You know, she plays a fantastic Wonder Woman. Fantastic. Anyway, 2022, Pedro co-starred with Nicolas Cage in the comedy The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. And that was kind of the start of all these memes as well. And I know I keep saying it for everything at this point, but also a very good film. But I'm biased. I'm a massive Nick Cage fan. What can you do? What can I say, eh? It's just how the cookie crumbles. Then Pedro was cast in the lead role of Joel Miller in the HBO adaptation of The Last of Us. And you know what I'm going to say? You know it. What another good thing that he's been in. I love The Last of Us, that was good. But here's another interesting fact for you. Pedro reportedly received $600,000 per episode for The Last of Us. And we all know the story after that because A, that would get us up to 2023, which is where we are now, and B, then he was famous, so there's no more to say about before he was famous. So what can we take from this? You know, it's always good to end these videos on a little conclusion or a little lesson learned in someone else's life. What can we learn through the life of Pedro Pascal? Well, we can take from this not to give up, you know, to keep on trotting by. Because he's had like 17 years in the industry and only really found fame over the last 2 or 3 years, which means he was going for like 14 years hard, acting, pretty much everything he could be in. All these roles which people probably said, hey, you're going to be a big star after this one, you know, this is a big show. Never did anything, never made anything of himself at that point. So that's what we can take from that. Never give up. You got a dream. You got to protect it. You got to go after it. And hey, if you don't get the outcome you want or the outcome you think you deserve straight away, just hey, keep on going for it. There are people out there that will love what you're doing and your time will come. Until the next video, goodbye.